Welcome to TrendPlainNews. Today breaking news is:
can Democrats block Sessions or other Trump cabinet nominees? Democrats angered by President Trump's executive order banning immigration from 7 Muslim-majority countries face a key test on Tuesday as the U.S. Senate is set to consider a slate of his cabinet nominees, including his choice for Attorney General. Amid growing public concern with Trump's travel ban, Democrats are facing louder calls from within their party to boldly stand up to Trump, but further delays could have far-reaching consequences, as became evident on Monday night when the Justice Department was plunged into turmoil. Trump fired Acting Attorney General Sally Yates, an Obama appointee, refusing to defend his travel ban in federal court. In her place, Trump installed Dana Boente, U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia, who is expected to hold the job until Sen. Jeff Sessions, R. Alabama, is confirmed as Attorney General. Trump fires Acting Attorney General who ordered Justice Department not to defend President's travel ban. Sessions is expected to be confirmed by the Republican-controlled Senate in the coming days, but Democrats have been using a series of rarely used stalling tactics to prolong the inevitable. In its statement on Yates's firing, the White House added that Sessions is being wrongly held up by Democrat senators for strictly political reasons. Senate Judiciary Committee to vote Tuesday on nomination of Sen. Jeff Sessions to be Attorney General. Senate Minority Leader Charles E. Schumer, DNY, said late Monday that Yates's dismissal underscores how important it is to have an Attorney General who will stand up to the White House when they are violating the law. Many people have doubts about whether Jeff Sessions can be that person, and the full Senate and the American people should at the very least know exactly how independent he plans to be before voting on him. Schumer added, that was a signal that Democrats were still mulling what more they could do to delay a vote on Sessions even longer in response to Trump's controversial order. The Senate Judiciary Committee meets Tuesday morning to vote on Sessions and refer him to the full Senate. Democrats have already pushed off the vote by asking Sessions a series of written follow-up questions. For now, the most Democrats have the power to do is delay the full vote until later this week. On Monday, Democrats blocked the Senate Finance Committee from meeting to refer Stephen T. Mnuchin to the full Senate to serve as the next Treasury Secretary. The panel is now scheduled to meet Tuesday to consider Mnuchin and the nomination of Rep. Tom Price, R. Georgia, to serve as the next Secretary of Health and Human Services. The freshly combative mood of Democrats has also begun to shape the debate over previously uncontroversial nominees. Sen. Bill Nelson, D. Florida, who faces a 2018 re-election bid in a swing state, sent a letter to Transportation Secretary nominee Lane Zhao on Monday with 7 questions about enforcement of the ban, given that she would have oversight of the nation's major international ports of entry. Aides said that Zhao's failure to answer those questions might be more reason for Democrats to vote against her when she faces an up or down vote later Tuesday. A party-line vote on Zhao might cause even more bad feelings in the chamber, given that she's the wife of Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell. Some international passengers entering the U.S. more easily, but members of Congress say they're still not getting answers. A senior Democratic aide said the caucus could keep up the use of rarely used stalling tactics until the executive order is rescinded. The aide, who requested anonymity to speak frankly about ongoing strategy sessions, dismissed suggestions that fresh pressure from progressive groups had compelled Democrats to intensify their campaign against Trump and his nominees. Members are incensed about this, the aide said, so are run-of-the-mill Democrats, and not just at Trump and Republicans. One question for Democratic lawmakers is whether they can satisfy the demands of the liberal base of their party to do more to block Trump's presidency. On Monday night, a rally organized by senior Democrats on the steps of the U.S. Supreme Court looked like an awkward mass marriage, marred by bad communication. A crowd of at least 1,000 protesters was waiting on the narrow path between the court and its first set of stairs. The crowd, bent around a path that had been left open for Democrats, launched into chants of "hands too small," "can build a wall and build a fence around Mike Pence." Some shouted, "Walk the walk," a command to the Democrats themselves. While the crowd waited for Democratic lawmakers to arrive, two protesters took over the lectern to give short speeches. Microphones meant for the senators stayed off when the Democrats arrived. Several held small electric candles, but found microphones that couldn't carry their voices to the crowd. After a round of "This Land Is Our Land," House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi, D. California, spoke. With much of the crowd unable to hear, "What the president did is not constitutional," said Pelosi. "You're not doing anything if you don't stop Sessions," yelled one protester. Democratic senators said Monday that they want to hear directly from Sessions about his involvement in crafting Trump's executive order before the Senate confirms him to his new role. "We're certainly going to raise the issue whenever the Judiciary Committee meets," said Sen. Richard J. Durbin, Beal, a senior member of the panel. Sen. Christopher Murphy, D. Connecticut, urged colleagues to take a pause in confirmation votes to try to get this executive order right. "You know this is going to get Americans killed if we don't take our time to understand what this order is and what its consequences are," Sen. Sheldon Whitehouse, Dr.I., said that Trump's order does complicate things, and "I don't know whether a delay would suffice, but I think it becomes even more important to get a really close look on these issues after this irresponsible behavior." But Sen. Dianne Feinstein, D. California, the top Democrat on the Judiciary panel, signaled that she's ready to move on despite the public outcry. "We've delayed it once and I think we're ready for the vote on Sessions," she said, adding later that Trump's order doesn't impact Sessions. But close aides to Sessions helped craft Trump's order, most notably Stephen Miller, Trump's new top domestic policy advisor and speechwriter who has worked alongside the Alabama senator for several years to defeat bipartisan immigration reform legislation and to warn against permitting the resettlement of refugees from overseas. While senators toil over the qualifications and positions of Trump's nominees, he has started meeting with world leaders, reshaping immigration and trade policy, and urged congressional Republicans to begin overhauling the Affordable Care Act. With most of the seats around the White House cabinet room still empty, Schumer was unapologetic on Monday, telling the Spanish-language network Univision that Senate Democrats, "We're the accountability. We're going to hold Donald Trump accountable. I think in our recent actions on immigration, on the cabinet, we're not letting him rush the cabinet through." Read more at Power Post. David Weigel contributed to this report.